As Cinna turns the doorknob, I stop his hand. Cinna. I'm completely overcome with stage fright. Remember, they already love you, he says gently. Just be yourself. We meet up with the rest of the District 12 crowd at the elevator. Portia and her gang have been hard at work. Peta looks striking in a black suit with flame accents. While we look well together, it's a relief not to be dressed identically. HayMich and Effie are all fancied up for the occasion. I avoid HayMich, but accept Effie's compliments. Effie can be tiresome and clueless, but she's not destructive like HayMich. When the elevator opens, the other tributes are being lined up to take the stage. All 24 of us sit in a big arc throughout the interviews. I'll be last, or second to last, since the girl tribute precedes the boy from each district. How I wish I could be first and get the whole thing out of the way. Now I'll have to listen to how witty, funny, humble, fierce, and charming everybody else is before I go up. Plus, the audience will start to get bored, just as the game makers did. And I can't exactly shoot an arrow into the crowd to get their attention. Right before we parade onto the stage, HayMich comes up behind Peta and me and growls. Remember, you're still a happy pair, so act like it. What? I thought we abandoned that when Peta asked for separate coaching. But I guess that was a private, not a public thing. Anyway, there's not much chance for interaction now as we walk single file to our seats and take our places. Just stepping on the stage makes my breathing rapid and shallow. I can feel my pulse pounding in my temples. It's a relief to get to my chair because between the heels and my legs shaking, I'm afraid I'll trip. Although evening is falling, the city circle is brighter than a summer's day. An elevated seating unit has been set up for the prestigious guests, with the stylus commanding the front row. The cameras will turn to them when the crowd is reacting to their handiwork. A large balcony off a building to the right has been reserved for the game makers. Television crews have claimed most of the other balconies, but the city circle and the avenues that feed into it are completely packed with people. Standing room only. At homes and community halls around the country, every television set is turned on. Every citizen of Pan Am is tuned in. There will be no blackouts tonight. Caeser Flickerman, the man who has hosted the interviews for more than 40 years, bounces onto the stage. It's a little scary because his appearance has been virtually unchanged during all that time. Same face under a coating of pure white makeup, same hairstyle that he dyes a different color for each Hunger Games. Same ceremonial suit, midnight blue dotted with 1,000 tiny electric bulbs that twinkle like stars. They do surgery in the capital to make people appear younger and thinner. In District 12, looking old is something of an achievement, since so many people die early. You see an elderly person, you want to congratulate them on their longevity. Ask the secret of survival. A plump person is envied because they aren't scraping by like the majority of us. But here, it's different. Wrinkles aren't desirable. A round belly isn't a sign of success. This year, Caesar's hair is powder blue and his eyelids and lips are coated in the same hue. He looks freakish, but less frightening than he did last year when his color was crimson and he seemed to be bleeding. Caesar tells a few jokes to warm up the audience, but then gets down to business. The girl tribute from District 1, looking provocative in a see-through gold gown, steps up the center of the stage to join Caesar for her interview. You can tell her mentor didn't have any trouble coming up with an angle for her. With that flowing blonde hair, emerald green eyes, her body tall and lush. She's sexy all the way. Each interview only lasts 3 minutes. Then a buzzer goes off and the next tribute is up. I'll say this for Caeser. He really does his best to make the tributes shine. He's friendly, tries to set the nervous ones at ease, laughs at lame jokes, and can turn a weak response into a memorable one by the way he reacts. I sit like a lady, the way Effie showed me, as the districts slip by. 2, 3, 4. Everyone seems to be playing up some angle. The monstrous boy from District 2 is a ruthless killing machine. The fox-faced girl from District 5 is sly and elusive. I spotted Cinna as soon as he took his place, but even his presence cannot relax me. 8, 9, 10. The crippled boy from 10 is very quiet. My palms are sweating like crazy, but the jeweled dress isn't absorbent, and they skid right off if I try to dry them. 11. Rue, who is dressed in a gossamer gown, complete with wings, flutters her way to Caeser. A hush falls over the crowd at the sight of this magical wisp of a tribute. Caeser is very sweet with her, complimenting her 7 in training, an excellent score for one so small. When he asks her what her greatest strength in the arena will be, she doesn't hesitate. "I'm very hard to catch," she says in a tremulous voice. "And if they can't catch me, they can't kill me. So, don't count me out." "I wouldn't in a million years," says Caeser encouragingly. The boy tribute from District 11, Thresh, has the same dark skin as Rue, but the resemblance stops there. He's one of the giants, maybe 6.5 feet tall and built like an ox. But I noticed he rejected the invitations from the career tributes to join their crowd. Instead, he's been very solitary, speaking to no one, showing little interest in training. Even so, he scored a 10, and it's not hard to imagine he impressed the game makers. He ignores Caesar's attempts at banter and answers with a yes or a no, or just remains silent. If only I was his size. I could get away with sullen and hostile, and he would be just fine. I bet half the sponsors are at least considering him. If I had any money, I'd bet on him myself. And then they're calling Katniss Everdeen, and I feel myself, as if in a dream, standing and making my way center stage. I shake Caesar's outstretched hand, and he has the good grace not to immediately wipe his off on his suit. "So, Katniss, the capital must be quite a change from District 12. What's impressed you most since you arrived here?" asks Caeser. What? What did he say? It's as if the words make no sense. My mouth has gone as dry as sawdust. I desperately find Cinna in the crowd and lock eyes with him. I imagine the words coming from his lips. "What's impressed you most since you arrived here?" I rack my brain for something that made me happy here. Be honest, I think. Be honest. "The lamb stew," I get out. Caeser laughs, and vaguely I realize some of the audience has joined in. "The one with the dried plums?" asks Caeser. I nod. "Oh, I eat it by the bucketful." He turns sideways to the audience in horror, hand on his stomach. "It doesn't show, does it?" They shout reassurances to him and applaud. This is what I mean about Caeser. He tries to help you out. "Now, Katniss," he says confidently. "When you came out in the opening ceremonies, my heart actually stopped. What did you think of that costume?" Cinna raises one eyebrow at me. "Be honest. You mean after I got over my fear of being burned alive?" I ask. Big laugh. A real one from the audience. "Yes, let's start then," says Caesar. Cinna, my friend. I should tell him anyway. I thought Cinna was brilliant, and it was the most gorgeous costume I had ever seen, and I couldn't believe I was wearing it. I can't believe I'm wearing this, either. I lift up my skirt to spread it out. I mean, look at it! As the audience oohs and ahs, I see Cinna make the tiniest circular motion with his finger. But I know what he's saying. Twirl for me. I spin in a circle once and the reaction is immediate. "Oh, do that again," says Caesar. And so I lift up my arms and spin around and around, letting the skirt fly out, letting the dress engulf me in flames. The audience breaks into cheers. When I stop, I clutch Caesar's arm. "Don't stop," he says. "I have to. I'm dizzy. I'm also giggling, which I think I've done maybe never in my lifetime. But the nerves and the spinning have gotten to me." Caesar wraps a protective arm around me. "Don't worry, I've got you. Can't have you following in your mentor's footsteps." Everyone's hooting as the cameras find HayMichelle, who by now is famous for his head dive at the reaping. And he waves them away good-naturedly and points back to me. "It's all right," Caesar reassures the crowd. "She's safe with me. So, how about that training score? 11. Give us a hint as to what happened in there." I glance at the game makers on the balcony and bite my lip. All I can say is I think it was a first. The cameras are right on the game makers, who are chuckling and nodding. "You're killing us," says Caesar, as if in actual pain. "Details! Details!" I address the balcony. "I'm not supposed to talk about it, right?" The game maker who fell into the punch bowl shouts, "She's not!" "Thank you," I say. "Sorry, my lips are sealed." "Let's go back, then, to the moment they called your sister's name at the reaping," says Caesar. His mood is quieter now. "And you volunteered. Can you tell us about her?" No, not all of you, but maybe Cinna." I don't think I'm imagining the sadness on his face. "Her name is Prim. She's just 12, and I love her more than anything." You could hear a pin drop in the city circle now. "What did she say to you after the reaping?" Caesar asks. "Be honest. Be honest." I swallow hard. "She asked me to try really hard to win." The audience is frozen, hanging on my every word. "And what did you say?" prompts Caesar gently, but instead of warmth, I feel an icy rigidity take over my body. My muscles tense as they do before a kill. When I speak, my voice seems to have dropped an octave. "I swore I would." "I bet you did," says Caesar, giving me a squeeze. The buzzer goes off. "Sorry, we're out of time. Best of luck, Katniss Everdeen! Tribute from District 12! The applause continues long after I'm seated. I look to Cinna for reassurance. He gives me a subtle thumbs up. I'm still in a daze for the first part of Peeta's interview. He has the audience from the get-go, though. I can hear them laughing, shouting out. He plays up the baker's son thing, comparing the tributes to the breads from their districts. then has a funny anecdote about the perils of the capital showers. "Tell me, do I still smell like roses?" he asks Caesar, and then there's a whole run where they take turns sniffing each other that brings down the house. I'm coming back into focus when Caesar asks him if he has a girlfriend back home. Peeta hesitates, then gives him an unconvincing shake of his head. "Handsome lad like you, there must be some special girl. Come on, what's her name?" says Caesar. Peeta sighs. "Well, there is this one girl. I've had a crush on her ever since I can remember. But I'm pretty sure she didn't know I was alive until the reaping." Sounds of sympathy from the crowd, unrequited love they can relate to. "She have another fellow?" asks Caesar. "I don't know, but a lot of boys like her," says Peeta. "So, here's what you do. You win. You go home. She can't turn you down then, eh?" says Caesar encouragingly. "I don't think it's going to work out. Winning won't help me in my case," says Peeta. "Why ever not?" says Caesar, mystified. Peeta blushes beet red and stammers out, Because she came here with me." Thank you for watching me read the end of Chapter 9 of The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to hear me read in more random voices. Leave a comment if you have any critiques. Unless the critique is to tell me that I don't sound like a girl, because you're right, I don't. Share this video with your friends, and watch the Paper Towns video if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Tribute out.